Hello, everybody. It's Walter, your favorite historian, educator, professor, social studies extraordinaire, and blue collar scholar. Today's date is November 26, 2025, and this video is entitled West Virginia Seeks to Expand Its Land. On November 20th, 2025, West Virginia State Senator Chris Rose introduced a measure that would allow the state of West Virginia to incorporate 33 counties, both from the neighboring states of Maryland and Virginia, into West Virginia's territory. This measure is theoretically designed to allow the citizens of those counties in Maryland and Virginia, which lean conservative, to join a state that better reflects their values. Now, I find this to be a bit odd and crazy, to say the very least. What this demonstrates to me is that West Virginia as a state is obviously failing in so many ways that they feel the need to augment the territory of two neighboring states to essentially make up the difference where they may be lacking. Now, in order for such a unique proposal to happen, the legislatures of both Maryland and Virginia would have to give their assent before any of their territory would be allowed to be given to West Virginia in any way, shape, or form. And even if that magnificent hurdle should be scaled, Congress would also have to give its seal of approval for one state to augment the territory of any other states. Now, and of course, in this highly political environment that we live in today, this highly volatile and highly visceral and overly politicized environment we live in America with today, that is absolutely not likely to occur. So what would be the immediate results of this? First and foremost, West Virginia, in increasing its territory, would also increase its population significantly, all right, giving it more electoral votes, thus, by the same token, decreasing the electoral power of both Maryland and Virginia, or of either of which would agree to give up their territory, neither of which is likely to do so in any way, shape, or form. Also, it would give West Virginia access to resources that they previously were not entitled to. So, West Virginia is the only one who really gains from this, increasing their own political power at the expense of Maryland and or Virginia, while Maryland and or Virginia lose their political power, okay? So it's not likely to happen, okay? Democrats in Congress alone, like I said, even if the legislatures of both Maryland and or Virginia were to approve this insanely odd measure, Congress, given its highly divisive political environment, Democrats in Congress would fight this tooth and nail to prevent the expansion of power of any red state, of which West Virginia is ruby red. And another thing I'd like to add to this is that what makes West Virginia think that even if the citizens of these counties in Maryland or Virginia may be discontented with the politics of their respective states, what makes West Virginia think that those citizens want to join West Virginia? I mean, no shade against West Virginia personally. I mean, it's a very, very beautiful state with a lot of picturesque scenery and natural beauty, but not much else, okay? If you're looking to expand your business footprint or virtually expand in any other industry, West Virginia ain't it, okay? Not to mention that the state offers, very significantly less in terms of funding and other type of basic state services in comparison to Maryland or Virginia. Okay, specifically, in speaking of Maryland in particular, Frostburg would then be lost to the state of West Virginia. Would West Virginia be able to provide the funding for Frostburg, as well as the funding for a litany of different other things that Maryland provides to its western counties? Not likely. Okay, if the citizens of those counties in Maryland and Virginia had any interest in living in West Virginia, then, ladies and gentlemen, they would move there. After all, West Virginia is only a hop, skip, and a jump away from them. Obviously, for whatever the opinion of the state governments and the state political leanings of Maryland, Virginia may be to those conservative-leaning citizens in those counties in the far western parts of either of those states, they obviously don't want to join West Virginia, because if they did, they would move there. So obviously those people who live in those conservative counties in Maryland and Virginia don't hate Maryland and Virginia that much to want to move across the border to West Virginia. But as I always say and I'll say it in this circumstance too, to West Virginia, hey, keep hope alive. One day these counties in Maryland and Virginia may be on an insane streak and may wish to join West Virginia, but in the short term, it ain't happening, Captain. Okay, again, however they may feel about the politics in their respective states, they don't hate their own state enough to want to join West Virginia. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say on that subject, but I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. So please leave them in the comments down below, and we'll have lots of happy, fruitful, and peaceful discussion. Take care of yourselves, stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you at the next video. Professor Shelton, the Blue Collar Scholar, out.